If you have ever felt overwhelmed by customer questions or worried about losing a sale because you couldn't respond fast enough, you're not alone. I used to feel the same way until I realized a great customer experience actually comes down to 3 things: clarity, empathy, and consistency. Once those clicked for me, everything changed. And here's the good news: these are simple skills you can learn too. In this video, I will show you the exact strategies that help me transform my support ratings and create experiences customers actually remembered. I like to think of customer support like real-life hospitality. And in real life, there are a few good rules to follow. First, there's the obvious one: setting up your shop in a way that feels easy to navigate with your best sellers up at the front. That covers the physical layout, but it's only part of the experience. What it's really about is making people feel seen. In person, there's something known as the 10-5-3 rule. You acknowledge the customer at 10 feet, smile at them at 5, and verbally greet them at 3. A bit tricky to do virtually, but stay with me. Since we can't greet people at 10 feet online, I like to use a simple framework called BUBL. The first B stands for begin immediately, then U, uncode the customer's needs, the second B is for break your schedule, and finally L, leave the customer some room. This framework lets you recreate the warmth of in-person hospitality in a digital space without overthinking it. Let's see just how we can apply these in an online space. When someone's browsing your site, the easiest way to instantly reach them is usually through a live chat. That's like our digital version of walking up and welcoming them. So the first B, which is begin immediately, can happen in 2 ways. Either the customer starts a conversation themselves, or an enticing campaign invites them into the chat. In both cases, the moment that the chat opens is your cue to respond quickly. But speed isn't about perfection, it's about reassurance. If the customer's question is simple enough, a chatbot will usually guide them straight to what they need. But when the issue is a little bit more complicated, that quick first touch gives you a buffer to finish what you're doing before the chat reaches you. And that really matters because your full focus will be needed when you step in. I bring up all of these small details because they shape the first impression, and that impression decides whether a customer stays or leaves. Nobody likes waiting around. The longer they wait, the fewer purchases made, and the fewer returning customers. At the end of the day, people just want to feel like somebody real is there with them. You know, in real life, you can offer to help someone find what they need, share a quick story, maybe even offer a drink. There's just so many ways to help people feel taken care of. But online, we don't have the same tools. But that doesn't mean that we can't recreate the feeling. So, after that initial interaction, we have to catch the wave. What's the issue and how can we help? Make the experience feel easy and human. We aren't exactly trying to sell them something, we want them to have a great time since that's what keeps them coming back for more. When it comes to breaking your schedule, the point isn't literally to drop everything. It's to make the customer feel like they have your full attention in that moment. You're creating a sense of presence, even when you're juggling a long list of tasks. That sense of priority is what builds trust. Here's an example. I was recently shopping on a site many time zones behind me. I needed something fast for an event, and I really wasn't sure if it would even arrive in time. I sent an email just to check, expecting to hear back the next day. Instead, they replied within an hour. There, I felt like a valued customer before I even made a purchase. And that reminded me of something important. A quick reply gets things moving, but the real experience comes after. Once the customer is with you, slow down, listen, acknowledge their question, and restate their needs. Let them know that you're checking the best solution for them. This helps them feel supported and keeps you in control of the interaction. And in the end, once you have provided your support, remember the L in BUBL. Leave them some room. This can simply involve stepping back for a moment and letting them choose at their own pace. If everything went well, a good review and completed sale will follow. Let's recap. What did I do to improve my ratings? First, I put my customers at the front and center. It may sound simple, but most businesses fail at making the customer actually feel it. Remember to act quickly, listen attentively, problem solve effectively, and leave sufficient space. It's also crucial to deliver honest expectations. With email, it can be that you're sending an acknowledgement message first with a time frame for resolution if you can't provide one fast enough, so that the customer doesn't feel ignored. With chat, it's handy to have a visible queue position or intro message that indicates how long a response will take. And it's useful in case agents aren't around 24/7. But don't say, "Hey, how can I help?" and disappear. That almost definitely guarantees a bad rating and a customer who will never come back. Then I tailored all of my approaches to reflect my awareness of the customer. This meant that I made sure that they never felt alone, but instead were supported every step of the way. That includes things like preparing my chatbot to help guide them anywhere they need to go, and I also made sure that my website flows well and is clear in all of its offers. We actually have a more detailed video about this that you can check out. But in general, my main advice would be to review your website and remove anything that creates friction, like slow loading pages, inactive promo codes, and so on. Small problems create big emotions. Clean them up and the entire experience improves instantly. Great customer experience is really about understanding what people need before they have to ask. That's what good hospitality does. It anticipates your next step and keeps the whole experience feeling smooth, like everything is already in place the moment you need it. Great support works exactly the same way. Once I started paying attention to those unspoken needs, things really shifted. My ratings went up, and more importantly, customers felt genuinely cared for, because all the little details were already handled behind the scenes. They never had to think about chatbots, email replies, or any of the setup. They just felt supported. If you'd like a video on how to design the perfect chatbot, let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.